years ago, the Beatles gathered for their first ever studio session. Those songs are being released in a complete collection for the first time in the U.S. The Beatles with Tony Sheridan. First Recordings is a treasure trove of early Beatles songs. And here to talk about that with us is Louise Harrison, sister of the late George Harrison. Such a pleasure having you here. Thanks so much for being with us.
Well, thanks. It's been quite a hectic day so far.
I'm sure it has. And before we begin, we should point out that today is the 10th anniversary of George's death. How is that for you?
Well, I know that he was ready to go. Mm-hmm. You know, he'd had enough of this planet, the nonsense he was going through. So, but I've felt very close to him ever since, and I'm sure he's been with me and you know, in all my endeavors ever since.
And he was such an interesting man. I mean, aside from being such an accomplished musician, he was a film producer, even a gardener, a humanitarian. He had so many sides to him.
And he was also a brother.
A brother, yes.
And to me, that was the most important part.
Of course, and an excellent one.
Yes.
Now, tell us a little bit about the recordings on this CD.
Yes, you know, the interesting thing for me is that I first knew about it when he wrote to me from Hamburg and telling me that, hey, you know, this wonderful German record producer is going to be producing us. We're going to be singing with this guy, Tony Sheridan, who was kind of a big shot at that time. And we're going to be the backup band, and we're going to be on record. And he was jokingly said, that means that we can sing a song, and people can hear us singing the song, even when we're not singing the song.
It's a recording. So what was the mood of the band at this period?
Well, you know, they were just a bunch of kids that were having fun. They were trying to learn how to play the guitar and everything. In fact, George, even into his 40s and 50s, still kept saying, do you think I'll ever be good at it?
Wow, amazing.
So their attitude all the way through was, let's strive to be better. You know, that was their goal, was always to be better than they were at that moment. And when you listen to this, you realize that they were taking their baby steps at that point. And it was such a big break for them to actually get a record, you know.
Right.
And so I found it really interesting, especially after remembering about his writing to me about it, to actually hear it, because I'd never heard it before.
Is there any particular song, one song that brings back memories?
Not really, because I'd never heard this particular recording until I got this issue of it, you know.
But did hearing it bring back that time? Not so much.
No. You know, I live in the moment, the now moment, anyway, you know.
Right.
But I find, to me, I think it's really good to have, because I'm happy to have it, because I can hear back how they were back when they were starting out. And after listening to them for, 48 years now, and knowing how much they progressed and how tremendously good they got at the music, it's really interesting to see how they were when they were all eager and anticipating and hoping to get somewhere, yes.
Did their fame take you by surprise when it hit?
Not really. I was kind of trying to help them to get there somewhere. Yeah,
and you answered the fan letters, didn't you? You helped.
Thousands of them.
You helped answer thousands.
And Mum and Dad, in fact, Mum and Dad said to me when I was living in this country already, and when the things started happening over here, they said they had been answering thousands of fan letters, and they said it's important that we, the family, give back the love. So that's basically been what I've been doing for the last, almost 50 years now. And
you've been very involved with the environment as well.
Yes, I had an environmental organization.
Now tell us a little bit about, your thoughts about your brother at this point. Do you think that he achieved everything that he wanted to in his life?
I don't know really that he did, because I guess he always wanted to be better, but then you never ever achieve being better when you're always wanting to be better than you are now. But I think he certainly started to understand toward the end that the contribution that the four of them had made was a very, very positive one, for all of the stress that it put on them and all of the, the manipulation and the scrutiny and everything, that eventually he started to realize, well, they had done so much good, and that what they had done was so very, very positive, that for all of the heartache it caused to them, it was worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you're known now as somewhat of a documentarian of all things Beatles. You keep things accurate. Are there books out there and films that bother you because they're not accurate? Yes.
In fact, I've finally been convinced to write my own book.
Good for you.
People have been saying to me now for years, isn't it about time you wrote a book about the Beatles? And I said, no, there's enough of those out there. I said, maybe I'll write a brochure telling you which ones you shouldn't read because they're full of nonsense. But anyway, finally somebody said to me, well, you know, I just turned 80, so they said, you may not have much longer, so if you're going to do it, you better do it now. So I said, okay.
Well, we can't wait for you to write the book, Louise Harrison. We'll have you back on the show to talk about it when it's done. Thank you so much.
Thank you.